It's distressed.
It's distressed.
Are you a damsel? Are you in distress?
Are you in distress? I can handle this. Have a nice day.
It's always spooky.
Seriously, one of the best movies ever.
I love it. Boys, they think no means yes and get lost means take me, I'm yours. I'm Karina.
I'm Clark.
And welcome to It's Always Spooky. So today we're talking about Amityville Horror. And we're going to do both the 1979 and the 2005 version. And I kind of figured we kind of do them like in tandem. So instead of like doing the one movie and then the second movie, we'll just kind of like do them together.
Yeah, and I was going to do like I did with The Shining and It with this one, where I was going to read the book and have little bits of it added in and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
The book was awful. Like reading it visually, terrible. Listening to it, narrator, terrible. So I just decided I got far enough into it and did enough outside research about the source material itself.
Sure.
That if I have anything to add in or any comments, I will. But otherwise, we're very movie focused.
We're doing the movies. Yeah. Which, you know what? I mean, that's like 3.5 hours of content. So
yeah,
that's plenty
to
chat about.
I think altogether I have like 4 comments about the book.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, at least you have some. That's good. So should we start with our metadata?
Yeah.
All right. So I did the title cards for both of them. So for 1979, we have the Amityville Horror House against a red sky, and then bold font that just says the Amityville Horror. And 2005, it's a little bit more like simple. It's just a black screen, white font. The white font is like a typewriter font, and it just says the Amityville Horror.
Okay.
The 1979 tagline is "For God's sake, get out." And then the 2005 tagline is "What happened over the next 28 days has never been explained."
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Which honestly, like, I love the 1979 version.
Yeah.
Because it calls back to like one of those very early scenes in it. I'll do the stars and director. So directed in 1979 by Stuart Rosenberg. Mm-hmm. And then in 2005 was directed by Andrew Douglas. In 1979 stars James Brolin, who plays George, Margot Kidder, who plays Kathy, and then Rod Steiger, who plays Father Delaney. And then in 2005, they list Ryan Reynolds, who plays George, Melissa George, who plays Kathy, and then they don't have Father Delaney as a character in the 2005 movie.
Yeah.
So I just listed the kids. So Jimmy Bennett, Jesse James, and Chloe Gross Moretz. I think Jimmy plays Michael, Jesse plays Billy.
Yeah.
And Chloe plays Chelsea.
I was having such a hard time getting my character list together for this one because for some reason they changed the name of the kids.
Yeah.
Like George
Between the two movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did notice that.
In like the 1979 one, the kids' names are the same as in the source material.
Yeah.
And then they changed it for the 2005 one. And I'm like, what was the point of that?
They changed the ages too.
Yeah.
Of one of the boys. Like, I felt like it was funny. In the 1979 version, I can't tell you the difference between the two boys, right? Like they're about the same age and they look very similar. So like I couldn't tell you who's who.
Yeah.
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 Oh, I would just interchange the both of their names and like I can't even think of them off the top of my brain. But in the 2005 version, the oldest brother, Billy, he's like adolescent, young teenager.
Yeah, I want to say he's like 12.
12, 13.
Yeah.
I'd say that's probably pretty accurate. And then they've got the younger brother, Michael, and he's probably like 7.
Something like that.
6 or
yeah.
7, right? And then Chelsea is seems like she's much younger. Like I would say maybe like 4 or 5.
Yeah. She definitely looks young.
Yeah.
And it's so cool at the same time. So cool to see Chloe Grace Moretz that young. Because she looks exactly like she does now. Mm-hmm. Just like somebody put her under a shrink ray.
Just like a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's very beautiful. Very beautiful little girl. I liked the family, like the chemistry between the family more in the 1979 version.
Yeah.
I felt like the 2005 version was very dark.
I'm going to preface this entire episode by saying I liked everything about the 1979 one better. I kept trying to find redeeming qualities for the 2005 one. And the only redeeming qualities that I found was that it's shorter, and I appreciate that. And they somehow found a way for Ryan Reynolds to wear pajama pants so low that there should be shaft and there isn't. And that's pretty impressive.
I totally agree with you. And we're going to get into this, but like in a section where like he assumes that one of the children is like drowning. And so he just jumps into the lake without even verifying that they're in bed first. And it was like purely for that Ryan Reynolds wet t-shirt moment.
Yeah.
And I wasn't mad about it, but at the same time I was like, there's no like 3 a.m. drunk thoughts I could think to myself that wouldn't make me just go fucking check on the children before jumping into the lake.
Yeah, like if I hear some sort of like distress or something like that coming from outside, and I have a thought that maybe it's one of my kids, I'd check their room.
Check for signs of life beforehand. I just remember thinking to myself, like when I was watching it, just getting off tangent, just thinking like when he's jumping in the water, I'm like, and then they're going to do the scene where he goes back into the house and he opens her room and she's just sleeping there because he didn't look in the first place.
Yeah.
Finally, my last piece of metadata that I've got on here is our budgets, which I think you're going to find this really interesting.
Oh, I'm excited.
Okay. So the 1979's budget was $4.7 million.
Okay.
Opening weekend was July 29th of 1979, made $7.8 million.
Damn.
And then gross, I did gross in US and Canada for both of them, was
Okay.
$86.4 million.
Holy shit.
Okay.
Damn.
I know. This you're going to laugh. Okay. 2005, the budget was $19 million. Three
Okay.
times as much budget
yeah,
for the 2005 movie.
Which I imagine is primarily Ryan Reynolds and special effects.
And maybe inflation, but like how much inflation?
Yeah.
But anyways, opening weekend was April 17th of 2005. It made $23.5 million.
Ooh.
And it grossed $65.2 million.
Ooh.
It grossed less than the 1979 on a smaller budget. On a
Profit
bigger
margin is so much smaller on that one. Oh.
Yeah. And it shows.
It does. It definitely
Definitely
does.
shows. We should do a recap.
Yeah. I wrote one.
Sick.
So a devastating mass murder shocks the village of Amityville, New York, claiming the lives of parents Ronald and Louise DeFeo, as well as 4 of their 5 children. A little over a year later, the Lutz family purchases the home and begins to experience what they believe to be forces of a demonic nature terrorizing their family. This story chronicles the alleged true accounts of their 28 days living in the residence on Ocean Avenue.
It's crazy to imagine that they only lasted like less than a month.
Right? And they went fucking nuts. And regardless of whether or not the source material is true, they went fucking nuts.
Yeah.
So, because they ran with it. So, either way, they're either so bought into their delusion that has become reality to them, or they are nuts enough that they think they're still playing everybody.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I agree. I agree with you on
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I feel like both the 1979 and the 2005 version kind of follow the same events. They start with the murder that happens, and then it's like a year later. But I feel like the events that unfold in the movie, they're different in both movies. In terms of like how dad goes crazy, some of the details that were really important in like the 1979 version. I'm thinking specifically with like faith, bringing faith into it, and all of the stuff that happened with Father Delaney that's completely absent from like the 2005 movie.
Yeah. And like some of the neurosis that comes along with all of the flies and how they're sprinkled in throughout the entirety of the 1979 movie.
Yeah.
And it's kind of glossed over a little bit in the newer one. Even going so far as like keeping the heat going, even those are done a little bit differently.
Yeah, I agree. No, absolutely. And I felt like, I don't know, I felt like the way that George goes mad in the 1979 version,
the like descent.
The descent into madness,
Yeah.
is much more kind of believable in the 1979 version.
Yeah.
And maybe that was just due to like the directing or the acting, but it just kind of felt like I had a moment here with The Shining where I was like, was Ryan Reynolds' character crazy all along?
Yeah.
Or did the house make him crazy?
Yeah. And I feel like this is kind of throwing in just a little bit of like one of my comments on the book. the 1979 one is actually far more true to the source material.
Sure.
And even though they are really similar, there are specific differences that lend it more toward the book
Yeah.
than the 2005 movie.
And I know the source material is kind of taking more information and more like credence from the actual Kathy and George Lutz.
Yeah.
Who like kind of helped give information for that book, which is why it's more true to the source material.
Yeah. And the book does a really interesting thing where the author tried to do almost like a journalistic style reporting of what was happening, but also tried to write a narrative and didn't do either one of those things well.
Oh, that's unfortunate. 'Cause,
Yeah.
you can do that well, but you have to either pick one or you have to be really good at putting those hats on and taking them off.
Exactly.
Because
And-
otherwise it just feels super jarring.
Exactly. And that's not at all to try to diminish the impact that this book and especially the 1979 movie had on the horror genre as a whole.
Right.
Like these are whatever we say moving forward in this episode, these are still monumental pieces.
Hallmarks.
Absolute hallmarks for this genre. And they will influence it forever.
Yeah, they've paved the way for a lot of the horror movies that we grew up with.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean to say that they don't have their flaws.
Oh, for sure.
So what are some themes that you might give for these movies?
So I have a couple that I came up with on my own, and then I have one that I stole from Stephen King.
Oh,
Yeah. So for my themes, I wrote haunted houses, possession, witchcraft, because that's in it, and then true crime. When I was reading a little bit of information about how the book and the original movie were received, there was a little blurb from Stephen King that had said that initially he was very much critical of the book
Sure.
and of the movie, saying that like it didn't have the impact that he thought that it could,
Sure.
and those sorts of things, which I absolutely agree. But then a little bit later on, somebody interviewed him again, and he said that his opinion on it had changed a little bit because as he reread it and rewatched, he found that if you take the story and instead of seeing it through the lens of this being a true story, you look at it as a metaphor for anxiety over financial turmoil and home ownership at that specific period of time.
Interesting.
Because the market wasn't in people's favor and it was a really like financially difficult time for most Americans at that point. Then it changes the story a little bit and puts kind of just a different spin on things.
I gotcha.
And I like that. I think as a theme goes, looking at this as that, like all of those other things that are happening, the hauntings, the true crime, like all that is all still valid. But if you look at it through the lens of like, these people are having a horrible time trying to figure out how they're going to own their first home and really survive this.
Absolutely. No, I totally get
helps.
it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because it's just a matter of purchasing a house is a huge undertaking, not only on your finances, but also like it's just a big life decision, right? Because typically when you buy a house, like you're in it for the next 30 years.
Yeah.
Right. And so I can understand that idea of like, okay, we're doing this. We're really excited. We're in it. And then anything happens, whether it's demonic possession or a really bad leak that you find out as in the foundation. And you just think about like the anxiety of that big decision.
Yeah.
And how quickly you can have cold feet and then now you're like stuck and you have to just figure it out.
And I mean, honestly, demonic possession and a really bad leak are kind of the same thing. Just one of those leaks is from a roof and the other is from hell.
It's true. And this is literally like I would definitely consider this house kind of like on that thin barrier where like the barrier between our world and another world is thin.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of the vibe that I got from it. But then they also kind of spin it as this like witchcraft, like Indian burial ground where like people were tortured and murdered.
Yeah, they do kind of put a few layers in there that now you see a lot of movies do like one or the other.
Yeah.
They're like, no, Indian burial ground. Jack Ketchum was a witch that was banished from Salem. Like,
Yeah.
then he killed himself to make sure that his soul is always there.
Yeah.
And all that kind of stuff. And it's like, how many
threads do you need? I would have just
Yeah.
picked the one thread.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
almost takes away a little bit of the believability that you're trying to stack all of
Well,
these
yeah,
things on
it's
top
true.
of one
It's true.
another.
You're just like, wait a second. This sounds like a 5-year-old's trying to explain to me like why they didn't eat their peas and carrots with their dinner.
Yeah.
Oh, well, this big bear came by and stole my lunch, and then after that, I had to go.
That reminded me of, I'm not sick. I just don't like meatloaf. I have some good quotes I have 2 quotes, one from each.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I wrote down any good quotes. Well, I did write down one, but do you want to get into our favorite scenes?
There's only one other like little commentary piece about the movies in general.
Yeah.
That I kind of want to share before we get into favorites. And that's that sometimes I feel like the limited effects that were available in earlier horror movies, like in the late 70s, actually as far back as like movies from the 60s all the way up through like the end of the 80s, I feel like those earlier effects lend themselves to better filmmaking, because as I was looking at the differences between these two, in the old movie, the scenes cut at the right times. The scares are more polished. They're more intentional.
Yep.
And the vibe is just more cohesive
altogether.
And I feel like all too often, especially in like the early aughts to like early 10s, they were like, we can just CGI it later. And it really took away from it.
Yeah, it led to some very lazy filmmaking.
Yeah.
Because I agree with you that like some of the older ones, they couldn't cut corners, so they had to be really clever with the things that they were doing, with the tricks that they were using.
Yeah, so many more practical effects.
Or just like it was really lent into the person acting.
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking about specific scenes where like after they were blessing the house and Kathy had all those boils that popped up on her face, like the makeup was not that great. Her reaction and her acting is what really sold it.
Yeah.
As not only like this awful experience, you're covered in boils, but also like you're this beautiful woman and like you don't want to think of yourself as like not being beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm also thinking of like towards the very end, one of my favorite scenes. It's very clear when you see the scene happen that like this guy's just falling into like a little pool, right? And he kind of has to like hold his breath and like tuck in before he lands in it. But it was still so well shot. The sound effects are really clean and crisp, and the way that it's acted still made me jump. And that's why it made it my scariest scene. Just being like, oh my God, that's fucking it.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Oh, I'm so excited. I think we're actually going to have different scenes this time. So should we get into favorites?
Let's do 1979's first.
Hell yeah.
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
So I have 2 honorable mentions for favorite scenes.
Oh my God, me too.
My first honorable mention is when George sees the demon Jody in the window. He like runs outside and he turns around and he can see it in the left-hand window, and it just looks like this kind of demonic pig thing with like big glowing eyes. They don't really let you focus on it for too long. You just know that it's some monster, and then it disappears very quickly. And then as they were running out of the house, the family, the blood that seeps out of the walls and down the floorboards, like that was so fucking.
Those effects mixed with the effects in the toilets, they did a damn good job.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Yeah.
And I have to highlight this too. When they were running down the stairs, the family, like Kathy in heels holding Chelsea, trying to walk down these blood-ridden stairs. She's slipping and sliding on them. These 2 boys, Matt and Greg, they have the most stellar falls in this movie. Like these poor boys must have just been covered head to toe in bruises by the time they were done. Like one of them like tumbles down the stairs, and then when they get outside and they're running towards the car, he falls again just on the ground. And I'm just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
These poor little kids.
Even when Kathy is like running back in the house after she's out in the rain.
Yeah.
When she's like running back in and she slips on the ground and everything, I'm like, she's got gravel in her arm. Absolutely.
100%. Right. My second honorable mention was several times throughout the movie, whenever Jodie's in her room, you can sometimes see her chair. That empty chair is like rocking back and forth.
Yeah.
And I really liked when it's a scene where Kathy's walking around her house, she's doing whatever, and she hears Chelsea singing Jesus Loves Me, and she's singing it over and over and over again. And so Kathy walks upstairs and she's really happy, and she kind of like leans in and she listens. She can see Chelsea in there singing, and she opens the door and you can see that the chair had been rocking. And right when she opens it, it just stops.
It was so perfectly
It was so
timed.
good. It was so perfectly timed, and it was very subtle. It didn't have any like audio cues or anything to tune you into it, except when like they didn't do any audio cues, but they only key you into it when she comes in the room and Chelsea says, "You scared Jody away." And she's like, "Well, what are you talking about? She's not there." And she's like, "She went out the window." But I just fucking love that scene.
It's almost like if you weren't paying attention to that other chair, you wouldn't have even known that it happened.
Yeah.
Because the first time I didn't catch it, I think I was focused too much on the door opening.
Sure.
And so the first time I didn't catch it. And then I was like, wait, she just said Jody left. And so I backed it up a little bit and I'm like, that timing was impeccable.
Impeccable. It was really, really, really cool. Like, yeah, it was just one of those things where you're just like, oh.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, queen. Did
Yeah.
it.
Such a good touch.
It was almost my favorite scene. Like it was literally only topped by this scene here. And I personally just really liked it because it made like a chill run up my spine. It was when the family are unpacking and they're outside and they're hanging out and they're expecting Father Delaney. And Father Delaney comes over to bless the house. And he has just like a hell of a time doing that, right?
Yeah.
And he gets it. He doesn't feel good. He feels lightheaded. He's sweating. He feels kind of nauseous. He goes up to the room that I think is like Kathy's painting room.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's either like a painting or a sewing room or something.
It's one of the rooms that somebody died in. Like we're not really ever told like why this room is special.
Yeah.
But most of the shit happens in this room, if I'm not mistaken, like later on in the movie. But I really like this scene. It's right after all the flies and Father Delaney's not feeling good and all this stuff. And I think it's the door just like swings open behind him. And you just hear that like demonic voice just say, "Get out."
Yeah.
Like that made a chill run. I was like, oh my fucking God.
It was so good. And in the book, the way that scene works out is it's almost exactly the same, but Father Delaney literally gets right inside the front door and hears that voice and leaves.
Yeah, he doesn't even get like around the house because he doesn't bless the house. Like
No.
after that point, like he just fucking leaves. And to the point where like the family didn't even know he stopped by.
Yeah.
Because Kathy kind of makes this ongoing point throughout the movie to like constantly be trying to check in with Father Delaney and calling that other father at the church and being like, well, but he said he was supposed to be here today and like he never showed up. And he's like, but he did. Like he left. Like where else would he have gone? You know, so I kind of liked that. That he didn't actually bless the house.
No.
He couldn't physically go through with it. And then he suffered all of these repercussions after the fact. Like when she called him on the phone and like he almost had like a seizure or a stroke.
Yeah.
And then like when he was going to go the second time and they got ran off the road by some demon, him and his father friend. And then he went blind in the church. Like it was kind of cool to see that aftermath.
The running off the road and like the hood to the car opening and everything, that part was in the book too. And I thought that was a really good addition into the movie. I was sad that we didn't get that in the 2005 one.
Yes. And I was honestly, that was one of the best scenes in the movie because like you had to wonder to yourself, how the fuck did they shoot that? Like, that must have been such a tight schedule in terms of shooting just to make it look so realistic.
I also like that illustrates how the effects of the house carry. It's not just isolated to in that house. Like it followed him.
Yeah. And that is what is truly interesting is that it's not an entity that's bound to any particular location.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is kind of par for the course. I mean, like I remember in Exorcism of Emily Rose, it was also that way too, right? Like evil finds a way to like get you even when like you're not in the place that the hauntings typically happen. That was my favorites.
So I'll go over my 1979 ones also. Yep. I actually had one of the same honorable mentions, so I'm not going to mention that one.
Which one was it?
It was the one of the rocking chair.
Of the chair.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But then I have two that are just gay being gay. So first one is James Brolin is gorgeous. So the first one is all of the scenes where George is chopping wood because, well, hot. And then the second one is all of the scenes where he is walking around in tidy whities because also hot.
Not as hot as if, you know. boxers, but
yeah, but we take what we can get. And then for my favorite, so I kind of wrote it out.
the fave of the favorite.
I know I'm really bad about giving enough context for my scenes, so I'm trying to like get better at this. So George has a coworker named Jeff.
Yeah.
And
I think it's an employee of his.
yeah,
too.
I think it's an employee.
Because he's like more of like a business owner in the 1979 one than he is in the 2005 one.
Yeah, and I couldn't tell whether this was supposed to be like a business partner or whether it's an employee or what.
Probably like a second in command. Like
yeah.
not necessarily like one of the business owners, but definitely like the person that would directly report to him.
Yeah. And so Jeff comes over to check in on George because since they moved, he hasn't come to work at all.
Exactly.
And he hasn't been doing any work by like moving things into his home office now or anything like that.
Yeah.
And so paychecks haven't been cut. Like
bills are coming
in. And he is like, okay, I need to go get a hold of George because shit needs to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And so he goes to check in on him. That whole interaction starts to get really eerie for Jeff. Some scary things happen, but that's just kind of setting some foundation for what happens later on.
Yeah.
Later on, Jeff and his partner, Carolyn, have offered to babysit the kids for the evening so that George and Kathy can get away from the house and hopefully loosen the grip a little bit that the house has on them at that point.
Well, in Jeff's perspective, it's just like, you guys need to like go have a night out. Like, you're just stressed out. Like,
Exactly.
And you need to get back to normal because we have like a job to do.
Exactly. Yeah. And so when they're pulling up to the house, initially what they were going to do was, I think they were going to like wait outside or something like that for George and Kathy to come out.
Yeah.
And then they were going to be like, oh, hey, blah, 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 get going. We'll go take care of the kids. But when they pull up, Carolyn's like, I have to go in the house.
I have to go in the house.
Like
I have to.
she's almost in like a trance.
Well, she said like, she says something about being pulled.
Yeah.
Like there's like a pull to the house.
But even like her demeanor's different. Like she almost seems like she's kind of hypnotized by the house in a way.
I definitely agree with you because the first time Carolyn and Jeff came by, when Jeff went and saw George like chopping firewood and had that whole tense interaction, Carolyn refused to get out of the car.
Yeah.
She was like, that house gives me the creeps. I'm not getting out of the car.
Yeah.
And Jeff's like, okay, whatever. And just leaves her.
Yeah. He's like, all right, weird. Okay. And so she starts just like going for the house.
Just walking in. Yep.
And she makes her way down to the basement where she starts to chip away at a concrete wall with this like pickaxe situation. And George and Kathy hear what's going on. George comes down the steps into the basement and is like, what are you doing in my house? And she's like, there's something in there. And he starts like picking at the wall a little bit. And he's like, there's something on the other side. And so he starts chipping away at it. And this leads into my favorite shot. This right here made this my favorite scene. So he breaks through that wall, and as soon as he breaks through it, the perspective of the camera shifts to being from inside that hidden room, and George just has the dumbest look on his face. That's my favorite scene.
Nice.
That stupid look on his face of like, is so perfect.
I
it was
agree with
so
you.
good.
Because I think they were supposed to be showing his reaction to what he was seeing.
Yeah, because it's like the walls look like they're painted in blood almost, just because they're fully red.
Yep.
It's the effects that they had in 79, so you can't really blame them too much. But they do like the spectral image of who would have been Ronnie DeFeo in front of him.
I was curious about that, honestly. I was trying to figure out who that was supposed to be because I was thinking to myself when he was breaking down the wall, I was like, what's going to be behind here, right? We've been led to believe that this is either an Indian burial ground or like a murderer who killed all these people and shoved their bodies behind this wall. So are they just going to crack it open and it's going to be like, all these bones are going to tumble out? I almost thought it was just going to be empty.
Yeah.
Right. But it was like Pandora's box. It was just going to let all the evil out.
Yeah.
And they kind of did a third. And honestly, I thought they were going to do this where they just showed his reaction and they didn't show you what was in the room.
Yeah.
But they do. They show you his reaction and then they show you this kind of spectral image. And like I said, I was confused. I was like, is that DeFeo or is that him? Is he seeing himself in the room? and that somehow broke his psyche or whatever.
So in the book, they illustrate that it's supposed to be DeFeo.
Got it.
And so that's the only reason why I even know.
Yeah.
But the thing I think in the movie that's supposed to somewhat lead you to that conclusion is back when they're at the aptly named Witch's Brew bar.
Yeah.
The bartender tells him, like, you're the spitting image of the DeFeo kid.
I do remember that.
Yeah. And so I don't know if it's supposed to look enough like him that, like, you could think it's either or if that's supposed to be the signal that they are kind of one and the same in that moment.
Okay. Because, I was kind of curious about that too. I did really like that bartender scene. I had also really thought to myself, I was like, when Kathy goes and she's looking at the newspapers and she sees the photo of DeFeo when he got arrested and she's like, oh my God, that's George. And it's the same actor, James Brolin.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was kind of weird. I was like, are they trying to insinuate that these are the same person or they're one and the same coin? I would have thought it would have been better served if it would have been a different actor, but they just looked very similar. All right. Was that all your favorites for 79?
I am so sorry. I actually did have one more honorable mention.
That's fine. I don't mind.
Which this one's not just me gaying all over the place. So right before there's the iconic fingers shut in the window scene, there is a scene where Amy is outside in the yard playing with her dolls. And
was her name Amy in the...
Yeah.
Oh.
Doesn't
matter.
Fucking...
Amy or Chelsea?
Yeah, Amy in the old one, Chelsea in the new one.
Okay.
So Amy is down in the yard and she's playing with her dolls, and her brothers are upstairs right above her with a fishing pole that has a big spider on the line, and they're trying to spook her and everything.
It above her and
they're like trying to get her, but before she even acknowledges the spider situation above her, she tells one of her dolls, "Janet, are you listening? Now don't be a smart ass." And I just cackled.
Yeah.
I cackled at that scene.
Yeah, you're just like, uh-oh. Where'd you hear that at?
Yeah. But then that's all my favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about your...
2005?
Yeah. What are your favorites for 2005?
I'm intrigued.
I think I briefly said this before we started this, but when I looked at my notes this morning, I was like... I had looked over all of them, and the only blank spot was in the fave section of the 2005 Amityville Horror. So I was like, bathtub scene, I guess. And I said any full-length shots of Ryan Reynolds in his superhero body.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for context for the bathtub scene, because I'm trying to think of like any of the scenes in the movie that like genuinely scared me or like made me feel something or like that I thought were clever. And that was probably the only one that I was like knew where it was going before it happened, but it was still very well done.
Yeah.
Because one of those things where it's like hard to do CGI in a bathtub.
Yeah.
And he still has to act it out too. Like the whole being held underwater. And then I really liked his reaction after the haunting had ended and Kathy comes up to help him, and he's just still like screaming because this horrible thing has just happened. I appreciated that.
Yeah.
But then they kind of go into this whole like medical scene for a minute there where like they try and basically diagnose him as crazy, but then like nothing comes of it later.
Yeah.
So just
that was a weird little...
just gratuitous. Like that's just kind of how I felt about like the whole fucking hour and a half that this movie was.
It is so interesting that it's a half hour shorter than the old one, and it feels like everything in it was just grabbing at straws.
Yeah.
It doesn't even necessarily... This was my biggest problem with the 2005 movie, because I can forgive some terrible effects. Like, I'm a horror fan. Of course I can forgive some terrible effects.
Sure.
But the narrative was just so choppy. It didn't seem like it followed any cadence. It didn't seem like it was trying to like continue down a certain plot, anything like that. It was just like, then this happened, then this happened, then this happened. And that was it.
Yeah. And I don't know. I just really didn't like it. I'm trying to find a lot of like any redeeming qualities from it. And I mean, the scene of Chelsea up on the roof was kind of like thrilling, but even then, like it kind of fell flat for me.
Yeah. Agreed.
Just the whole movie kind of fell flat for me. So that's all I had for favorites.
So the scene that I did for my 2005 favorite, just a little bit of behind the scenes. I only had 2 scenes from the 2005 movie that I even really liked.
Yeah.
And so I was having a hard time, honestly, right before I was getting out of work today, where I was like, okay, which one of these do I do for this? Which one of these do I do for that? And so I just decided to have Siri flip a coin and just threw it in there. So for the 2005 one, my favorite scene is George and Kathy are going to go out for a date night. And so they get a babysitter.
Yeah.
Which the contrast between the babysitter in the 1979 one and in the 2005 one, hilarious.
Kind of funny. Kind of funny. I got
Kind of funny. Also kind of gross. Because
super fucking gross.
Yeah, the babysitter's low-key predatory.
When she walks through the door, I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me right now?"
Right?
Like, which parents in their right mind,
yeah,
want a night out that badly that they're like, "Yeah, that's definitely appropriate."
Yeah, and then she starts asking a 12-year-old if he Frenches. Like that, it's just.
Oh my god!
It's
yeah,
gross.
it's gross. Especially like. You'd almost expect that from the 1979 one. The fact that it's in the 2005 one is like massively disappointing.
Absolutely.
Like, is it surprising? No.
No.
Is it massively disappointing? Absolutely.
Yeah. So like they hire this sitter. Initially, Billy's really upset to have a sitter because he's 12 years old. So
He's a fucking adult.
He's obviously a full-grown adult.
I can take care of myself.
Yeah, he can take care of himself and everybody else. And so then he sees that the sitter is a regulation hottie.
Hot mama.
And her name's Lisa. Who's literally the worst babysitter to ever sit on a baby. And after George and Kathy leave, Lisa starts filling Billy in on what happened to the DeFeo family. Meanwhile, his brother, Michael, is still in the room with them. And she's like, just cover your ears and don't listen. So
which he immediately like uncovers them.
Which he's like, okay, sure. So she starts telling them about the tragedy and how all of them were murdered and gets them all worked up and scared. And it starts to getting to bedtime and they move into Chelsea's room. And she tells them that that closet in Chelsea's room is where they found Jody. Mm-hmm. And Billy is like, well, I dare you to go in there. And she's like, well, for the kiss poster in your room, I'll go in there. Mm-hmm. And he's like, you got it. And so she goes in there, and almost immediately after she goes in there, she like turns around to show that she did it. Mm-hmm. And then the door slams shut. Light starts flickering. It eventually turns off. She's trying to open the door. She can't get out. The kids are trying to pull it open. They can't get it open.
Yeah.
And suddenly Jody appears in the closet.
Hello?
And Jody grabs her finger and puts the finger into the bullet hole on her forehead.
Right.
And I thought that was truly one of the only well done scenes in the entire movie.
Yeah.
And it still wasn't creepy. Like she got what she deserved.
Oh yeah.
And I don't feel like it's necessarily funny. I don't feel like it's necessarily scary. So to me, it just kind of falls in favorite as like, it was one of the two good ones.
No, I can appreciate that. The one thing I will say about that I find funny is that scene happens in both movies. Like we were saying, it kind of happens differently in both movies. But in the 1979 version, the babysitter gets locked behind like a very solid like oak door.
Yeah.
Right. And in the 2005 version,
it's got shutters in it.
Door's got shutters on it.
Yeah.
So like, although I will appreciate that, like in the 2005 version, the babysitter gets actually haunted by Jody. Jody shows up and like basically attacks her without attacking her. But in the 1979 version, I'm pretty sure the babysitter just gets locked in there and then the light turns out.
Yeah.
And that's truly what's terrifying is that she's locked in there for hours.
Yeah.
Right? Until the parents come home and they find her and her knuckles are all bloody because she's been screaming and trying to get out of it. That would be truly way more terrifying than the 2005 version.
Yeah. I like the way that the 79 version was done way better.
It was way scarier.
It was way scarier.
Way scarier.
Yeah.
And I really kind of appreciated the aftermath in both situations, more in the 79 version versus the 2005 version. But in the 2005 version is actually one of my honorable mentions for scariest.
Good. So. Yeah. I mean, we don't have a lot of straws to grasp for.
I know, for the 2005. So, speaking of which, should we get into scariest
scenes?
Let's
do it.
We'll do 1979 first. So let's see here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 honorable mentions here.
Hell yeah.
So we'll first do this because we were literally just talking about it. The babysitter locked in the closet is one of my honorable mentions for scariest.
Yeah.
I thought it was really well done. I don't even really remember why the babysitter goes into the closet.
She does it because she's getting Amy's pajamas.
Yeah, it's something, just super easy, right? And then the door, like, very clearly, like, slams shut and she can't get out. I do kind of like the aftermath of that scene, too, where, like, you know, Kathy has to tend to the babysitter. They eventually send her home. And then after the fact, like, I think it's George that says, like, what the hell is wrong with your children? Right.
Yeah.
And he goes upstairs and Amy says, George yelled at me.
What do you want me to do about it?
And mom turns around and says, well, you should have opened the door.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, I remember George says, something to the effect of like, what the hell's wrong with your children? Or like, these children need some fucking discipline or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, she's like, he yelled at me. And it's like, you sat there and watched the fucking babysitter try to claw her way through this oak door.
And you just sat there.
Yeah.
This whole time. I mean, because they don't even show like any of the three children trying to help the babysitter. In the 2005 version, Chelsea doesn't help, but like the two boys try to help.
Yeah.
So I just found that very interesting.
And I think I was having a hard time remembering. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like in the 1979 version, the babysitter is only there because they think Amy's sick. Because I think the boys go to the wedding with the parents.
That's right. I think you're right. So she's only with Chelsea.
Yeah, which adds another layer to how scary that scene is because there was no one but Amy to help her.
And she didn't do it.
Yeah, and she's like, die.
Yeah, she's just probably sitting there with Jody laughing. Like, I mean, that might have been kind of an interesting scene because, you know, you hear the babysitter like calling out to Amy, like to open the door. And I think it would have been kind of interesting to see like Amy just sitting on her bed and just like giggling, just like, you know, maybe like the chairs rocking next and they're just sitting there just like, haha, I guess I wonder when she's going to get out. So that was one of my honorable mentions. I really liked Kathy's axe murder nightmare, although I kind of felt like it cascaded into too many jump scares after that and it kind of like lost some of its potency, but I still really did appreciate it.
Yeah.
I literally wrote it down, but I'm trying to remember the context for it.
It's my scariest, so I'll go into more.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Do you want to come back to it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll come back to that one. I have the little boy's hand getting stuck in the window.
That's an honorable mention for me too.
I fucking loved that scene.
That was really well done.
Because I knew it was going to happen. Like the way that they kind of shoot it, like when the mom comes in and she's like, what are you boys doing? And like his hand is already in the window. And I was like, oh no.
No.
Oh no. But I love how like it slams down on his hand. He's screaming. And I think it's Dad and his friend outside, Jeff, here. And so they run upstairs and it's the two of them and Kathy and the other brother trying to open the window off of his hand. And I think Jeff is the one that says like, it's nailed shut, right? Like that whole scene was so good.
They did a really good job with that scene, looking like they were trying really hard to open that window too. Like that was some stellar acting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Even like the little boy, like when he's just sitting there, like tears are streaming down his face, and he's just like trying to like stay calm. Like, such a good scene.
And the practical effects for the blood were so good.
So good.
So good.
Oh yeah, it was a truly like tense, thrilling moment where you're just like, oh my fucking God. Oh, and especially in the aftermath when you realize that like he didn't break a single bone in his hand.
Yeah.
And you're like, you're fucking kidding me, right? His hand would have been absolutely shredded in that fucking window.
It was like, you know that if they were able to do the effects back then, they probably would have made that like a degloving scene. And the way that they just left it right where it was perfect.
It was really perfect.
Yeah.
I really liked Carolyn's possession finding the evil source. We were kind of briefly talking about that earlier. That was kind of one of my scariest scenes because I kind of liked her kind of slow, like meandering to find it, finding the dog and then finding the weapon and like just kind of having this tenacity to find the source of evil.
It was almost kind of like in Hocus Pocus when they're all sniffing out the children.
Yeah.
Like she's just kind of like trying to sniff out the evil.
Sniff them out, Betty. There.
Finally, this is... It was going to be the little boy's hand in the window until I saw this scene. And it made me gasp out loud, and I was like, oh, that's the fucking scene. And it's kind of a crazy scene. The family has escaped from the house. They've all gotten in the car. They've driven down the road, and Amy says, I want Harry. I want my dog, right? And so I don't think they say anything, but you just hear Kathy, and she, like, the car stops and Kathy's screaming for George, and he's running back to the house in the rain. And I remember when I was first watching this scene, I was like, what is he doing? Like, what is he doing right now? Like, is he going to like a boiler situation in The Shining where he's just going to go kill himself in the house? Like, I knew he gets out in the end. So I was like, why is he going back in there? He's going back in for the dog. And so I kind of like this moment where, like, he knows that Harry's in the basement. And so he just starts to run down the basement, and he gets like 3 or 4 steps in, and the stairs just fall out from underneath him.
Yeah.
And he falls into like it looks like blood. Like just a big vat of blood. And the way that they do the effects, because it literally looks like he just drops down a chute, and you can see him like tuck his body in so that he won't hit the sides, and probably hold his breath at the same time so he can get fully submerged in whatever this liquid is. And then I really like when he gets out, he's like getting his arms out. Harry comes back, and initially you think like Harry's going to attack him and he's going to have to kill him. But then quickly, like, he's telling Harry, like, Harry, like, pull me, like, help me. And so Harry, like, actually helps him, like, get out of the muck and the grime. And then he just picks him up and he runs back out to the car.
I do love that in the 79 version, they don't kill the dog.
Even though I really, like, I thought he had killed the dog.
Yeah.
I really did. When Kathy is tending to him one night, and she notices the bite marks on his ankles. And I remember thinking to myself, I was like, oh my God, he killed the fucking dog. And I have to tell you, in hindsight, I wish he would have killed the dog, because I think that would have been more impactful.
I think it would have. I think the 2005 movie needed it.
Yes.
But I think the bite marks on his ankle were supposed to just reflect the dragon that he tripped over.
The what?
He trips over this like ceramic dragon or like stone dragon thing, and it has a bunch of points on it.
Oh, okay. I just didn't make that connection.
I see, and I don't know if that's accurate.
Yeah.
Because it happened, like, those showed up right after that moment.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if maybe that's supposed to show that that's what happened, or if that is supposed to like insinuate that he got bit by something. I don't.
Yeah. It looked like bite marks to me,
It
which
did,
is why, like,
yeah.
I remember thinking to myself, I was like, oh my God. I literally wrote it down. I was like, oh my God, he literally fucking killed Harry, didn't he? But I said, damn, I got faked out by the bite marks because he didn't kill him. You see him in the next scene.
It's so funny to me because I will forever be the person that's like, did you have to kill the dog? Did you have to kill the dog?
Yeah, absolutely.
But then I'm also the same person that's like, don't be a bitch, kill the kid.
Yeah.
Kill the kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I never want like kids or dogs to necessarily die in movies, but sometimes like when it furthers the narration or it sends like a certain theme or idea home, like sometimes I can appreciate it when they do it.
That was like my biggest critique about the movie adaptation of The Road by Cormac McCarthy was in the book, spoiler alert, they kill the kid.
Yeah.
In the movie,
They don't.
They didn't have the balls to kill the kid.
Right.
And I'm like, that's the whole point of the fucking
whole
book.
point of the book. Yeah.
So getting into honorable mentions for the 1979 version. Scariest honorable mentions. First one is George wakes up at 3:15 in the morning, as always, 3:15 every time. I had a tally for how many times 3:15 was shown on screen. Also, call back to our Paranormal Activity episode. Everything in Paranormal Activity happens at 3:15.
3:15.
Or starts at 3:15.
Do you know why?
It's supposed to be the devil's time.
Yeah. It's known as the witching hour or the demon's hour.
Yeah, it's the perversion of the time of Christ's.
Yeah, because Christ
something.
died at 3 p.m.
Oh.
Right? Like it died on the cross at 3 p.m. So it's a perversion of his holy sacrifice. Huh. It's the time when demons, isn't that what Mika says? It's the time when demons and ghoulies go bump in the night.
Yeah, something like that. Like
I probably said it better, but that's because I'm not a dick.
Yeah, right. So George wakes up at 3:15 a.m., freezing cold and unable to sleep. He gets up and he goes and sits in a chair next to a window and decides that he's just going to casually have a cigarette because they smoke inside in those days.
Yeah, in the 70s. Yeah, absolutely.
In the 70s. They smoke everywhere.
Yeah,
you
your
have
car, your office,
gas station, like
your coffee shops.
Yeah, you're next to petroleum factories. You're smoking anywhere you can.
Anywhere.
If you got them, light them. And so he's just about to light his cigarette, and the most generic looking black cat with the most stereotypical black cat meow jumps up in the window and scares the piss out of him.
Yeah.
That's conjecture. I don't know if he actually pisses himself, but the cat does get a really good jump out of him, and that was a good one. When that happened, I had my headphones in and I was like a little distracted at that moment, and so when the cat made the noise, I actually jumped.
Right.
I was like, it's got to go in there.
Those
now.
are always the ones that you're like, all right, I'm writing that one down.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then the hand in the window scene. That was an honorable mention for sure. That was such a well done scene.
It was really well done.
Even if you don't watch like the rest of these movies, Google or YouTube that scene.
That scene
it's
will
so good.
stick with you.
Yeah.
Definitely will.
And then my scariest is Kathy's nightmare.
Yeah. Okay, perfect.
Because it does carry too far. Once the jump scares start happening after that, it's like, all right, I'm already heightened. It's not having the effect
I'm glad
anymore.
that you feel the same way about that scene.
Yeah. But the beginning of it is really good.
Yes.
And it does one of my favorite things. So, Kathy wakes up in the night and George isn't in bed next to her. Mm-hmm. So she exits the room to find him and opens the door to Amy's room and sees George on the upswing with an axe in his hands and a bloodied Amy laying in her bed. And then it cuts to George turning on Kathy and bringing down the axe right onto her head, causing my favorite fucking effect from the 70s and 80s for horror, where it's just a volcano of blood that comes out of her head. It is so fucking cool.
And they show it too. Like there's
They
no
show
cutaway.
it. No, there's no
cutaway.
cut. That is a geyser of gore.
Yeah. And you see the axe go into the skull too.
Yeah. It was so good. It was so satisfying. And then she wakes up again and you realize that it was just a dream.
Right.
But it was so well done. I had to applaud that scene.
Absolutely.
So good. And the terror in that scene is palpable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That feeling of, like one, not being able to protect your children, but then two, like the assailant being your husband.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the effects on Amy look legit.
I think they show the boys too. I think like he had killed like everybody.
I don't know, because I don't remember them showing the boys, but also I zoomed to that specific part of that scene when I did it.
Yeah, I wonder if I'm thinking of like the beginning. I just remember like when I think it was DeFeo, when DeFeo was like killing his family.
Oh,
I think like because he kills him with a gun, right? Where like George is trying to kill them with an axe.
He does the bang bang, bang bang by Jessie J. And Ariana Grande and She Who Shall Not Be Named because she's canceled.
All right, so that's it for scariest.
That's it for 79 at least.
All right.
I am excited to see what straw you grasped for the scariest scene of 2005.
Let me see. I have only two things. I think this one with the star is the honorable mention because it made me jump. And then this one is not really like scary as it is more like a intimidating. Like you'll get it. You'll understand when I tell you.
Yeah.
So when Michael wakes up in the middle of the night, he sleeps in the same room with Billy and he has to go to the bathroom, right? And he's like, Billy, like I have to pee, like please. And so he can't hold it anymore. And so he gets up and he just does this adorable, like every adult knows this feeling of like when you have to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. And so you're afraid of something in your house. So you just run like as fast as possible.
Yep. I still do it.
Yeah, to this day, right? But like I wrote down Michael's pee-pee ghost made me jump. So it must have been like, it was after he was done and I think he was washing his hands and she shows up right next to him. It was just a very quick jump scare, but it actually did get me. So I had to put it in there. But I'm pretty sure this happens the same way in the 1979 version because I say till all the jump scares just got to be a lot.
Yeah.
So I wonder if it just like started cascading after that point and then it just kind of lost a lot of its meaning.
The 2005 one I guess actually both of them do this. They do rely way too heavily on jump scares when they could do like The Shining and lead into the descent into madness a little bit more.
Yeah, well, I felt like in the 1979 version, they did do a really
did it
good job
better.
of that. Like, I felt
Yeah.
like James Brolin's character, they had a lot of these shots of him like wearing the same clothes.
Yeah.
He
getting shaggier.
Yes, getting progressively shaggier. It also looked like he never brushed his hair.
Yeah.
Like his hair was always like disheveled. He never looked like he just took a shower.
Yeah.
Right. And like I said, like the sweat stains, like from when he was like he was always wearing warm winter clothes because he always claimed anytime he was in the house he was cold.
Yeah.
But then he's always in the backyard like chopping wood. He just looks fucking insane.
Yeah.
And I like how well he played that. Like even when he goes to see other people or goes to run errands, like he just looks fucking nuts.
And yet every time he's on screen, I'm still like hot.
Oh,
Would.
Yeah. Oh,
Yep.
definitely. Especially in those very, very, very early shots, but even towards the very end, like he's still very, very handsome.
Yeah, both of them actually. James and Margot are absolutely gorgeous humans.
Yeah, yeah. Well, a bit of trivia early, but Margot was the Lois Lane of that era.
Oh, what?
Right, like I think the same year, or maybe the year after this movie came out, she was in Superman and she played Lois Lane.
To me, she is like the epitome of classic beauty.
Yes,
She looks
that like
so
timeless, beauty.
Yeah.
My scary scene that I have in here, it's after the babysitter scene. Because at this point, it's all three children, right, that
Yeah.
have had the babysitter locked in the closet, right? And so it's after the babysitter's left and both George and Kathy are disciplining the children. But it's mostly George who's disciplining them, right? He eventually tells Kathy, like, shut up, you're not doing this correctly. I'm doing the disciplining now.
Yeah.
And when he gets finished, he just looks at the kids and he just says, run.
Yeah.
Like, not, you're dismissed, not get out of here, just run.
Oh, yeah.
And it was very, like, threatening.
And it's one of the very few moments that I'm actually able to take a threatening Ryan Reynolds seriously.
Sure.
Because you can tell throughout the entirety of that movie, he's trying so hard not to lean into comedy. And he
Yes.
does it a few times.
Yes.
And the way that he leaned into it the couple of times that he did, to me, did not add to the movie. It took away from it.
Yep. I agree with you. I'm glad
Yeah.
you brought that up too, because Ryan Reynolds is kind of a typecast actor.
Yeah.
And he is really kind of built for comedy. And so I also kind of noticed that too. Whenever there were these tiny comic relief moments, I was like, don't do it.
That's not the moment.
You're playing
for
a
it.
fucking serious character right now.
Yeah.
I will also say too, because I just thought about this. I don't know why I didn't put it in my scenes, but I can really appreciate too, for another scariest honorable mention, when George is punishing Billy by making him hold on to the wood.
Yep. I
2x4s.
forgot about that scene. Yeah.
I kind of forgot about that scene too until we were just now talking about it, because that scene is very fucking intense.
It is.
Not to mention flat out fucking abusive.
Yeah.
But he's basically not only forcing Billy to like stack wood even when it's like late at night and he's going without supper, but he's also like during the daytime forcing Billy, even when he's crying, to like hold on to the 2x4s while George is swinging and breaking them, and he has to let go of them last second. And I think you only see him hold 2 logs, but just like that scene is pretty intense.
It is. Yeah.
And the Jesse James, who plays Billy, does a really good job of like acting that terror.
He does. It makes me wonder how they actually set up that scene behind camera, because he does look horrified.
Yeah.
It almost makes me think that like they had not just like a fake axe handle or anything like that, but they had like a prop axe all together that was just like really dull or something.
Yeah.
So that it would still instill that fear.
Yeah, I wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because you have to think that like between the 1979 and the 2005 version, there were probably way more regulations for what you could have kids do. Like I was thinking about those boys falling down the stairs and like falling in the front lawn. And I was like, you can't have kids do that anymore.
No. And I mean, even going so far is like the kids, the actors who play the kids in the 1979 movie, they're not even in like the top billed cast. They're
Yes.
like so far down the list. I had to
Super.
hunt for their names.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. And I didn't even write them down because they weren't in the top build, right?
Yeah.
Like, Yeah, and then on the flip side, the children in the 2005 movie are the third, fourth, and fifth ones that are listed.
Yeah. And then I think it's the babysitter.
Yeah, maybe. So that's it. That's all I got for scariest.
So I don't have any honorable mentions for scariest. And you actually mentioned my scariest scene. I'll just dive a little further into it.
Oh, yeah.
It's Michael's pee-pee stroll. and and he's going. And so, yeah, he does his business in the bathroom and he turns around to wash his hands, which good for him.
Yeah.
A lot of young boys, terrible
Don't
at
do
washing their
that.
hands. Actually, a lot of grown ass adult men terrible
wash
at
them.
washing
Yeah.
their hands. I have actually said things in the bathroom at work regularly where I've been
No
like,
shit.
wash your hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when you're going back to work.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
People who make literally 6 times as much as I do, lawyers, finance advisors, that sort of stuff, I'm telling them to wash their hands. So just in case you're ever one of those people that's like, oh, it's a hierarchy. This person makes so much more than me, blah, blah, blah. Nope. They
that.
still don't know how to wash their fucking hands. Anywho, he goes to wash his hands and he tries to turn on the faucet and it's like not working.
Right.
No water's coming through. No water's coming through. And then the camera just quickly pans to show like over his shoulder where there is, I don't know who it's supposed to be, but it's some ghosty, bloody, ghouly looking thing next to him that was a legitimately well-placed jump scare. It was great. And then the faucet, once it pans back, the faucet slowly starts dripping what looks like blood. And he just books it.
Yeah.
He leaves the bathroom, runs back to the room, gets in bed, pulls the covers over his head.
Yeah.
And then I think directly after that, all of the windows open or something like that. There's another jump scare that happens when the tension hasn't even relieved from the last one and it's not effective.
Yeah.
But that little bit of just like, oh shit, and just running back to your room and getting in bed.
Oh,
like,
and you just think
we've
about
all done it.
from his perspective, and you just like throw the covers over yourself, and you're like, I'm safe.
Yeah, and,
Home base.
And the thing is, he didn't even see the ghost. Like we saw the ghost.
saw it.
He didn't see.
He
the
didn't
ghost.
see it. It was like a feeling that he got. Like
Yeah.
I gotta go.
Yeah, just the. I've spent too long in here already.
Exactly. It's definitely watching me.
But scariest and also kudos for washing your hands. Shall we get into our ratings?
Oh, I could look at trivia real quick. Let's see.
Oh yeah.
I didn't look at trivia beforehand, so I'm sure like for both of them, it's probably going to be fucking a lot. So
Oh, I would assume so because the trivia is probably going to go into the real life story and all that kind of stuff too. I can give a couple of little book trivias really quick.
ooh, that's a good idea.
So for the first one, and it's not even trivia, it's just a little bit of tidbits about the book. Part of the reason why I didn't enjoy it was, first off, they really lean into this is a real story thing, right?
Yes.
And I get it. This family contacted Ed and Lorraine Warren, who are literally the most famous con artists to ever exist, who got them a book deal to make money so that Ed and Lorraine Warren could make money off of this story and also the story of the DeFeos, which is an actual real story.
Right.
And this book is found in the fiction section under horror at Powell's. This is not real.
No.
Based on true events, sure, you can go that far, but this is not real. And then the two things that bothered me the most about this book was in the beginning, the introduction starts from, I believe it's supposed to be one of the religious folk who went in to inspect the house or something like that.
Yep.
And he essentially says that there's 3 camps of people. There's either the people who believe only in the rigidity of science and something has to be proven to exist.
Yep.
There are people who believe in entirely faith, and as long as you believe it, it's real. And then there's people who fall somewhere in the middle, and you can believe whatever you want to believe about this story, but I'm telling you that this is real, and these are true accounts from these people, and if you don't believe them, then you're doing them a disservice and all that kind of stuff, which for an introduction to a book, I'm like, I already don't believe it.
Yeah, exactly. If you have to go this, if you bend this far backwards to be like, but this is real. This is like true facts, and like all the controversy is just bullshit.
Yeah.
You're spinning.
Yep. I'm like, you're not doing yourself
That's
any
like
favors
a snake
here.
oil salesman.
Exactly.
Right.
And then the other gripe that I had about the book was any scary thing that's supposed to happen, the author writes like the anticipation and the build of it, and then it happens in like and this scary thing happened, and it has like an exclamation point, and it's kind of campy, and like it really diminishes what he just did all of the work to build up. You definitely have to like read it. It doesn't come across in the audiobook, but when you read it, it's like, this is like a children's story.
Yeah.
Where it's like, there's an exclamation point. You're supposed to be scared.
Right.
And it just doesn't come across that way.
It doesn't work.
It also mentions the address literally like 2 times every chapter, where it's like when they visited whatever it is, 212 Ocean Avenue.
Yeah.
Then they visited 212 Ocean Avenue.
Yeah, right.
And in their time at 212 Ocean Avenue.
like,
And it's like, we fucking get
I
it.
fucking get it. I got
Yeah.
it. Zip code, blah, blah, blah.
For fucking real. There was one chapter where it mentions it like 5 times, and these are short chapters. I think the longest one that I read was like maybe 6 or 7 pages.
Jesus,
And
that is
so
short.
It's mentioning it like once a page.
That's just
at
too
that
often.
point.
That's just fucking too
And
often.
I'm just like, I've only DNF'd, did not finish a book 5 times in my like recallable life. And this was my 5th one.
Wow. Anyways, okay, I'm doing trivia real quick for 1979. Because the movie was made on a relatively modest budget, James Brolin took less money up front, but with a promise of 10% of the gross sales after its release. After the
He
movie,
made out like a fucking king.
somebody was thinking with their whole brain.
He's not only hot.
He also smart, or he is a really a lawyer or agent. After the movie became an unexpected blockbuster, at that time it was in the top 10 of all time, he eventually received about $17 million. If adjusted for inflation, that would be equivalent to a little over $63.5 million in 2021 dollars.
Fuck around. I choked on my ginger kombucha.
Knowing that he made $17 million off that movie
damn.
in 1979. Holy shit.
Toughened your nipples, didn't it?
James Brolin was hesitant when he was first offered the role of George Lutz. He was told that there was no script and that he must obtain a copy of Jay Anson's novel and read it as soon as possible. Brolin started the book one evening at 7 o'clock and was still reading at 2 o'clock in the morning. He had hung a pair of his pants up in the room earlier, and at a really tense part in the book, the pants fell down from wherever they had been hanging. Brolin jumped out of his chair, nearly crashing his head into the ceiling. It was then that Brolin said, "There's something to this story," and he agreed to do the movie. Due to all the unwanted fame the book and the film have brought upon the real house in Amityville, the current owners have replaced the evil eyes windows with normal rectangular-shaped windows.
Okay. Does it still say High Hopes outside?
I don't think it does.
I don't think there's any high hopes left for that place.
No. Even though James Brolin became friendly with George Lutz and his children, he was highly doubtful of their story. And like James Brolin, star Margot Kidder also went on record saying that she didn't believe the Amityville Horror story either.
Hell yeah. Telling you, they're not just hot.
Right? Ooh, here we go. This is kind of fun. James Brolin's brother, Brian Brutterlin, was actually used for the image of the bearded man seen appearing from the red room in the cellar.
Sick. Okay, so yeah, it's somebody who's supposed to look just enough like him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says that person was supposed to be Ronald DeFeo. The studio wanted someone who bore a close resemblance to Brolin and discovered he had a brother who shared a strong resemblance to the star. Brolin's brother was fitted with a fake beard for the part.
Nice.
That's actually really cool.
What?
Because I thought it was just him. Like, I thought they just used him.
So like, I know they call like a wig for your hoo-ha a merkin. What's it called if it's your face?
A Birkin? No,
Sure.
a Birkin's something else.
It's like a bag. Is it a purse?
Yeah, a Birkin bag. No, you're right. You're right. I think that is a purse.
Yeah. Nope. We're rebranding it. It's beard vag hair. That's a Birkin.
Let's see. At around 20 minutes while washing the dishes, Margot Kidder's character is heard humming the love theme from Superman, which she starred in as Lois Lane.
Hell yeah.
Honey was rubbed on Rob Steiger's head to draw the flies to him.
Ew. So that was actually real flies.
Yeah. Gross. That's disgusting.
That's really gross.
I thought about that to myself. Like a lot of those older horror movies, like Candyman, for instance, like they used real bugs. Like they just had an entomologist there.
I'm like a huge invert fan. I love invertebrates of all shapes and sizes.
Would not want them on my face though.
Yeah, not the biggest fan of
Not
flies
in
on my
mouth.
head.
Or flies on my head, what sounds like fucking like Chinese water torture.
That does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I hate being itchy, which, you know.
Yeah.
In 1979, attorney William Weber, Ronald DeFeo's defense attorney, filed a lawsuit against George and Kathy Lutz, charging them with fraud and breach of contract. He alleged that they renegated on an agreement to collaborate with Weber on the book and subsequent movie. In an interview with the Associated Press, Weber admitted that he and the Lutzes had concocted the horror scam over many bottles of wine.
It's all a bunch of bullshit.
While shooting the scene where Kathy Lutz is startled by the red eyes in the window, director Stuart Rosenberg wasn't impressed by Margot Kidder's reaction. According to Kidder, Rosenberg then tried to hold up a day-glow orange stuffed velour pig with glass eyes in an attempt to startle Kidder. She said the result was only hysterical laughter. Margot Kidder went on record with her friends that she hated the film.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I mean, if we're comparing the two, it's good.
It was the better of the two, right?
But also, I just like it.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. Standalone even. I just like it.
I found a spoiler one. The true story behind the movie has a special relationship with two modern horror films, The Conjuring and Annabelle. Ed and Lorraine Warren were also involved with the investigation of the Real House and served as demonology advisors for Amityville 2: The Possession in 1982. Oddly enough, Amy's doll is a Raggedy Ann, which is what the real Annabelle doll is.
One day we should divulge from movies and books and everything in general and just do an episode about them.
About the Warrens?
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do that. Absolutely.
They're pretty pivotal for the genre, no matter how much bullshit they are.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, here we go. I found one more. The film never makes it clear what was happening to Carolyn when she finally saw the red room in the basement of the house. It was commonly believed among fans and viewers that she was experiencing possession. Helen Shaver, who plays Carolyn, is often asked the question and answers that she wasn't experiencing a demonic possession, but rather a sensory overload. Carolyn is a clairvoyant and sensitive to the supernatural, so she was experiencing the pain, torture, and sadness of all the souls trapped in hell being thrown at her all at once, as the Red Room is said to be the entrance to hell. She covered her ears in the scene because she could hear the screams of agony belonging to all the punished souls in hell, causing her a sensory overload.
Okay.
I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that I read that too, because it wraps around to my scariest scene of Carolyn's possession, finding the evil source. I forgot her reaction and having that possessed moment of I don't remember what she says, but she tells that group something.
She does. Yeah. She switches into a different voice. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she's I don't remember what it is. It's something about the house being evil, or about Ronnie DeFeo, or about like the Lutzes, or
I think she says something about Ketchum.
Oh,
Or something like that.
yeah. No, you're probably right. I'm blanking on who that was too. Was that the witch guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy who like used the Red Room as like the torture chamber.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways,
He was a witch and his sister was a princess.
she came down in a bubble, Doug. You're gonna tell me I'm wrong?
You trying to tell me I'm wrong? Grow up.
Grow up. Educate yourself. All right. That's all for 1979. I'm gonna pull up the 2005 version just because. Cute. Ryan Reynolds chose not to become close with his on-screen children. He was not mean or rude to them, just very distant. So distant, in fact, that the children often confided to those on the set that Ryan doesn't like us. Reynolds said that he did not want to fall in love with the kids. He did this so that when George Lutz started changing, he would have no trouble easing into the verbal and physical abuse.
I get it.
But like I also hate it.
He's also supposed to like them at first.
Yeah. But I
Like,
don't feel that.
no.
That's what I'm. Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's a really good point, because I kind of felt. Remember in the beginning when I was like, it feels like a Shining situation where like,
Yeah.
he never liked these people.
Yeah.
In the 1979 version, they do this really beautiful thing of like, sure, they're not George's kids, but he still cares about them and loves them and takes care of them. And then as he starts to descend into madness and starts to get more abusive, that's what kind of makes it more tragic.
Yeah.
Was because he had a close relationship. And you don't get that in the 2005 movie because he never had one.
No.
There's never a moment. I mean, you get it with Billy, because like Billy's at that age where like fuck you, I want my real dad.
Yeah.
But like he didn't even have any kind of, he had something with Michael. There was one moment.
A little bit,
There was
yeah.
one moment in like the beginning of the movie where like he kind of had like a tender moment with Michael. But I'm also thinking too, did the original dad die in both films?
Yes.
Right? Like the reason why Kathy remarried was because her husband had passed away.
Yeah.
Even if they don't really explain why he passed away. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm also kind of thinking that as like a another reason why the kids wouldn't initially bond with him. Because you have to also think about timing too. They just got married, right? I don't think they had been married for that long.
I think both movies have a different time frame.
Got it.
For how long they've been
Because it's supposed to
together.
be a year after the murders, but that's
Yeah.
not necessarily like their marriage has been a year
No.
old. They're definitely newlyweds just by the way that they kind of portray them and how they act, but you're not really given any context as to like how long they had actually known each other, how long has dad been gone, right? Like you don't really get a lot of these kinds of questions answered. And this is just wrapping back around to like hard to like form bonds with stepchildren, especially like pretty closely after their paternal parent has passed away, right?
But there is that feeling of like, he should at least be trying in the beginning.
100%.
Yeah.
And that's what makes this trivia just kind of interesting that like
It-
you just chose not to do that.
It honestly, you know, and who am I to say anything? I don't do that job. But like, it almost comes across as Ryan Reynolds being like, this is going to be the easiest way for me to do this. And
Got it.
yeah.
No, I get you. Where you're just like, that just kind of sounds like a cop out. Plus, like, I
Yeah.
mean, not to say that like your whole like part of your job is to like appease these kids, but like I would want to have good rapport with my co-stars.
Yeah.
I would want to. Yeah, I would like. I would want there to be like a cut scene. Hey, how's it going, man? How's your day been?
Yeah.
You
Like
know?
I would want to be an inspiration for the kids to keep acting.
Absolutely. You wouldn't want to be seen as this like intimidating asshole.
Yeah.
Come on. Like you're yes when you're on set and the camera's rolling and like you're acting, but like not when you're not. Like that just seems unusually cruel.
Yeah. And kids are notoriously mistreated in the backstage in filming and everything anyway.
Right.
Especially by directors and producers.
Mm-hmm.
So like, why wouldn't you try to be a support system for the kids?
Yeah, and I mean
Yeah.
they do. I don't know who wrote this trivia point. You know, they make a point on there that like he wasn't mean or rude to them. He just was distant.
But
you know?
being
like,
cold to a kid feels rude.
yes,
Yeah.
because they don't get it. They don't understand that you're doing it because you're method acting, right?
Yeah.
Like trivia point just made me so mad. Just before shooting began, the body of a fisherman who had been murdered washed up on the bank of the river right next to the main house. Okay, that's actually kind of cool.
That's good. That's
I mean,
a good one.
That's not cool. That sucks. But like,
Yeah.
interesting trivia point for sure.
Yeah. Like, rest in peace and thoughts to that family. But at the same time, what a way to christen a movie.
No kidding. There's welcome to set, everybody.
Yeah. And we're rolling.
Get that in the shot.
Don't cut that. Don't
Don't
cut
cut that. Don't cut that. Are you rolling? Keep going.
Zoom in. Zoom in.
Jesus fucking
Now, hear me out, DeFeo kids. You got to look like that, okay?
dead. Okay. Ooh. All right. God damn it. Chloe Grass Moretz did most of her own stunts, despite being only 8 years old. That's
Nice.
actually pretty fucking cool.
She is a great actress. So you can tell from that age she was bound to do it.
This was her first cinematic appearance, too.
Oh,
That's actually really cool.
cute.
Megan Fox auditioned for the role of Lisa the babysitter.
Of course she did. Megan Fox was auditioning for literally everything back then.
For the closet scene with the babysitter, the production crew had originally ordered a rubber door. After shooting the scene a few times, they decided it didn't look right, and they ultimately decided on using a real wooden door, so actress Rachel Nichols had to bang her hands on the door for 2 days straight while filming the scene. Ow. Ooh, this is kind of fun. This might be
Ooh.
power of suggestion. During filming, many cast and crew members began waking up at 3:15 a.m., the same time Ronald DeFeo murdered his family.
Spooky.
Oh, I said this really weird thing that happened to me. oh, what happened? I woke up at like 3:15 this morning. And so I was like, I did too. Me 3.
You know who didn't wake up at 3:15 that morning? Guy in the river.
I do. Yeah. God damn. That was pretty good, actually. I honestly, I wake up at 3 a.m. sometimes.
Oh, me
like
too.
I look over and sometimes it'll be 2:58 and I'll be like, go back to sleep, you dumb bitch. Go
I
back
woke
to
up
sleep.
at literally 3:04 this morning. So
Some bullshit. Oh my God. Right. Sometimes when like I'll wake up in the middle of the night and like I know it's 3 a.m. And so I'm like, I'm not even going to look at my watch. I'm just going
Nope.
to go back to sleep.
I'm
If I don't look, it's not real.
well, and I even tell myself, because like I wake up at 4:30 most days anyway.
Right.
But if I wake up and I get the vibe that it's 3 o'clock, I'm like, you can't even pee it. Go back to sleep until it hits the 4 o'clock hour. You're not fucking with that.
Nope. It's like, ooh, and it's sleepy time.
Does it smell like sulfur? Yep. Back to bed.
Yeah, back to bed. Here we go. At around an hour and 8 minutes, when Ryan Reynolds' character breaks through the wall into Ketchum's evil sanctuary and starts to see ghosts, the third entity clearly resembles Gollum from The Lord of the Rings. He's even crouching very much like Gollum in his cell, complete with a few strands of hair, bright blue eyes, and a loincloth.
Loincloth. That would have been a fun thing to see James in.
Yeah.
There we go. Missed opportunity.
Or a Speedo.
Ooh.
Though the story is largely fictional, contrary to George Lutz's claims, the factual elements of the story remain present in the movies. Ronald DeFeo murdered 6 members of his family on November 13th, 1974, and was convicted of 6 counts of second-degree murder on November 21st, 1975. On December 4th, 1975, DeFeo was sentenced to 6 concurrent 25-to-life sentences. The Lutz family moved into 112 Ocean Avenue on December 19th, 1975, and moved out on January 14th, 1976. Especially in this version, the rest is all fiction, mostly based on Jay Anson's The Amityville Horror, published on September 13th, 1977 by Prentice Hall.
Yeah. Prentice Hall. They do a lot of textbooks.
Got it.
Yeah.
In real life, the Lutz family's dog Harry did survive, unlike as depicted in this movie.
Okay.
So it was true in the 1979 version, but probably not the same way.
Yeah.
While the original address of the Amityville, New York house was 112 Ocean Avenue, it was changed by subsequent owners to another number in an attempt to stave off tourists. In the movie, its address is listed as 412 Ocean Avenue. The numbers on the actual street only go up to 399.
Yeah, I remember, I think I mentioned it being 212, but yeah, it's 112 in the book. Yeah, 112 in the book, 412 in both movies, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In an interview, Chloe Gross-Moretz said that at the time of its theatrical release, she was not allowed to see the movie because she was too young. However, when it was released to DVD, she was shown a supercut of all of her scenes.
Nice. She's one of the better actors in it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, this is kind of funny. Ryan Reynolds later starred with Josh Brolin in Deadpool 2.
Oh, yeah.
And then Josh's father is James Brolin, who appeared in the original Amityville Horror.
Hell yeah.
So there's a wraparound.
Good deal.
I know. I thought that was kind of cute. That's all the trivia I've got.
Before we do ratings, can I share my 2 quotes?
Yes.
Okay. So the 2 big takeaways that I had from both of these movies.
Yeah.
The first one's going to be from the 1979 one. George says to Kathy, "Nobody likes a quitter,
Yeah.
but I got an idea." And she says, "Get a couple of beers and go outside and play." And it's while they're in the heat of unpacking everything. They had just moved in. And just that little bit of a moment where it's like, oh, they're like young 30s.
Oh,
they're
yeah.
still just like wanting to have fun.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like responsibility who?
Yeah. And then the next one's from the 2005 movie. And it's right before George and Kathy are about to go out to dinner. And Kathy comes down looking incredible, comes down the stairs, and George says, "You look hideous." And she says, "Yeah, well, you look rather repulsive yourself, Mr. Lutz."
Oh, yeah.
And then they go to leave
I
for
did think
dinner.
that was cute. That was like the only
Yeah.
that only part that I was like, okay, like I'll take that.
Yeah, that was the only comedic relief that I was like, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Now, ratings.
Ratings.
What did you think for the 1979?
So for the 1979, my weapon is a imaginary falling angel face because I thought
Hell yeah.
that's what blinded Father Delaney.
Yeah.
And even though it didn't actually fall, I'm still using it because it caused him to go blind.
Yeah.
So for quality, I gave this a 5 out of 5.
Hell yeah.
I
Damn.
loved this movie. It was very well shot. I also felt like not a lot of gratuitous scenes. The fact that most of it is practically done is really well done. And I thought that the acting was very top notch. Even though it's 2 hours, I don't feel like it's 2 hours.
Not at all.
I felt like the 2005 movie dragged more than this one did. So I'm giving it a 5 out of 5 for
Hell
quality.
yeah.
Falling Angel Faces. For scariness, honestly, like I found this one to be pretty like terrifying. Like there were some good, the window falling scene, like the scene with Father Delaney in the beginning, some of the ending scenes when they're trying to run out of the house and all like the blood's coming out of the walls. So I give it a 4 out of 5 Falling Angel Faces. And then for rewatchability, I gave it a 5 out of 5.
Hell yeah.
Because I feel like every time I watch this movie now, I'm going to appreciate it more. And even though it's pretending to be based on a true story, but it's almost entirely fiction, it is kind of fun to watch it in this realm of like based on a true story. Like reality, reality can be scary too. But I just really fucking enjoyed it. It was a good ass movie.
It is a good ass movie.
What about you?
So for my weapon, I chose a dead girl closet.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it kills the babysitter's sanity.
Oh, yeah.
So for quality, I gave it a 4 out of 5. I honestly, my ratings specifically just for this one, my 2005 ones are going to stay the same.
Yep.
My ones for the 1979 one, I actually kind of want to bump a couple of them up.
Okay.
The quality, about a 4 probably. The only reason why I take a little bit away is just because of those continuous jump scares.
Yes.
If those were a little more spaced out, I think it would have taken it to the top for me. But 4 out of 5 dead girl closets for sure.
Yeah.
Scariness, I was having a hard time with this one because it's one of those where like I think they did a really great job.
Mm-hmm.
And if I were to watch it back then, this would have been the scariest thing I've ever seen.
Super fucking scary. Even if you watch it in a theater.
Yeah, like this would have been like an 8 out of 5.
Yeah.
For me today, it's like a 3.
Yeah.
Something like that. I can appreciate the job that they did. It didn't really get me often.
Right.
But it's still such a fucking good movie. So I'll average it out at like 4 out of 5.
Okay. For scariness. And then for
Yeah.
rewatchability?
For rewatchability, for some reason, I wrote down 3, but I intended on putting 5 because I already want to rewatch it.
I know. And oh, God, it's so good. All the acting is really good. James is a snack for the
James is a
entire.
snack.
He's a fucking snack.
Yeah.
And I mean, fucking so is Margot, too.
Yeah. What did you think about the 2005 version?
So the 2005 version, I'm having trouble finding a weapon. Like I'm thinking axe, but
Mine's stupid. Mine's really stupid.
what is it?
Using money to create a movie this cringy.
Respect. Then that's fine. So then I could never choose one that would be that. But I'm trying to think of other weapons that were used in this movie. Like there was no window. There's no. There was an axe.
Flies? No. Well,
No.
no.
Oh, I might have a good one. I'm pretty sure this is done in the 2005 movie and not the 1979 movie. And it's actually a pretty interesting scene. It's with the fucking boat propeller.
Yeah. Yeah, that's almost a weapon.
How the fuck did he not rip her fucking scalp off with that?
That would have been fun.
Well, I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, how? How would you have that much control over your boat propeller to get her stuck in the water by it? Because I'm trying to think. I remember watching the scene, but I was almost like half watching it. Like I was like watching it and then also playing a video game or something. But I remember thinking to myself, I was like, there's no fucking way.
Yeah.
There's no fucking way she'd just get like just her hair stuck in that.
No fucking way.
No fucking way. And then she just comes up and she's like, you fucking tried to kill me. It's like, so I'm going with a boat propeller.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
That's
I was like, absolutely, you're going with a fucking boat propeller. So my boat propeller for quality, I gave this a 3 out of 5. I probably would have given it lower. Honestly, I was being very kind.
that does sound really kind.
It was really kind. I felt like the acting was pretty good, mostly by the kids and maybe the babysitter, even though she was very predatory. Some of the effects, like I said, like the bathtub scene and like the scene that they did up on the roof. Now that I know that Chloe did all the stunts herself, like that's giving it a little bit more quality. But other than that, I really felt like this movie did not tell a good cohesive story the way that the 1979 Amityville horror did. I felt like it fell into the same trope that a lot of remakes do, where they almost expect you to watch the original and be like, well, we can't do a shot for shot remake, which I can respect.
Yeah.
We have to make it different, but we're also going to take away all of the parts that made that movie good and put our own spin on it and do it worse.
It's kind of like how I felt about both The Shining and It, their renditions as movies, where it was like, if you haven't read the source material, you're really going to be missing something out of this.
You're going to be watching this and you're like, I feel like I'm not getting the whole kit and caboodle here.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are puzzle pieces that aren't fitting together right.
Yeah.
For scariness, I gave this a 2 out of 5. I truly did not find it very scary at all. Honestly, like the 2 out of 5 is from like Ryan's kind of blatant abuse of the children.
Yeah.
Both with like his like discipline, but then also just like the way he talks to them too. Yeah. And the way he eventually starts talking to Kathy also. Like, I will tell you one of my notes in the 1979 version is I loved when George punches Kathy out of anger or out of some tantrum that he has to the point where her nose is bleeding. Yeah. But then the next day when she goes to like see Father Delaney, she got no bruising on her face. And I'm like, if you got punched in the nose hard enough that your face is bleeding, you'd see it the next day. Yeah. You wouldn't look pristine.
I will say in the book, Kathy beats the ever living hell out of her kids all the time.
Really?
She is hella abusive.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interessante.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm kind of cute. Wow. Okay. Well, rewatchability, I gave this a 1 out of 5 because I will tell you, when we were originally talking about doing Amityville, I remember being like, oh, yeah, I've seen the Ryan Reynolds version, but it was one of those movies that I shut off halfway because I was like, I'm not in it. I don't care. This is not entertaining to me.
Yeah. I think I was really excited about doing this one. And I think it was because as a kid, this was one of the very few stories that there was a lot to dive into with it.
Oh, sure.
There's so much because it's based on true events, that sort of thing, where you could just keep digging deeper and deeper and deeper. But yeah, the 2005 one especially is
not age well.
Swing and a miss.
Mm-hmm. What about you for ratings for the 2005 version?
Yeah, so for my weapon, I did using money to create movies this cringy. Because truly that is the biggest crime that is covered in these.
Yes.
So quality, I gave it a 1 out of 5. I was not being nice.
You're like, I was not kind to this movie, and I don't give a shit.
I was low-key annoyed that I spent time watching this. And I remembered, one, I wanted to do this episode.
Yeah, you did.
2, I remember liking it as a kid. Like, I didn't turn it off.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah.
Like, also, I probably watched it when it came out. Like, I was probably like 12.
Yeah.
And so I remember thinking it was fine. It was not fine. So yeah, 1 out of 5. Yeah, take this movie and shove it. And for scariness, I did 2 out of 5. I gave it a 2 strictly because of spooky and the pee-pee time.
Yeah.
And the finger in the bullet hole.
Yeah.
Like, those were fine. And then for rewatchability, I also gave it a 1 out of 5. I don't care to ever watch this again.
I probably won't.
And honestly, if somebody suggests it, I'll probably be like, can we please watch something else?
Can we watch the 1979 version?
Yes.
It's only a half hour longer.
That concludes our coverage of the Amityville Horror.
Spooky talking toaster.
Spooky eating toast.
Yum, yum.
Human hand.
So what have you been up to the last week?
Let's see. What did I do the last week? We went climbing last week, right?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We did.
So we went climbing last week.
We went with a big group.
We did.
Mm-hmm.
I finally got to meet Pavel.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was really fucking cool. Pavel and Stevie are both awesome. And got to see Elliot again. Love Elliot.
Yeah.
I even texted Elliot later on that day and was like, I am so grateful to know you. Like, you're such a cool person.
Yeah, I was really excited for you to come with us because you got to see more lead climbing. You got to see, you got to ascend, to the top of a couple of routes that day.
Yeah.
And not just the short walls, like some of the tall walls, too.
Yeah. I did some that, were puzzles. It wasn't just, I wasn't just overcoming the fear of getting that high.
Yeah.
I think I've broken through that at this point. Now it's okay, now I get to figure out the puzzle.
Now you get to, do the problem solving, which is really the fun part
It is.
to me.
I came out of that trip with everybody knowing I'm in.
Yeah.
I have to get the membership. I bought myself a harness that I picked up today. I am in it. I am excited. I am stoked to go outside.
Yeah.
That's going to be so much fun.
It's so cool.
And I've been watching YouTube videos about it. I've been watching people sport climb, just because it's so cool to see that people can do these things and they use their bodies in this way, especially outside where it's significantly more dangerous.
Yep.
But watching them do it is just it's so impressive.
You know what's chill though? Most of our rock climbing crew are paramedics and EMTs.
Exactly.
So,
I could not be with a better group of people.
I remember when I helped Pavel take his lead test and he fell on me. And I remember thinking to myself, I was like, at least he's a paramedic.
Yeah. As long as both us aren't knocked out, we're good.
Yeah. There was once we went to Stoneworks and we brought a new EMT. I'm totally blanking on what his name is now, but I remember I was doing lead climbing with Eve and I decided to do some fuck shit. I was being kind of irresponsible that day. And so I told Eve I was going to miss a clip and I was going to take a fall. And I thought it was going to be like a 8 to 12 foot fall, but it was more like a 20-foot fall.
Ew, fuck that.
And so by the time, because I had just I'd not done the last clip, I'd climbed to the very top, and then I didn't tell Eve I was gonna fall. I just fell. And so I think she was giving me slack as if I was gonna clip. And so when I landed, I had fallen so far that we landed in the air together. And we just looked at each other and was just like, sup, dude?
You shouldn't
Sup,
be here.
dude?
I shouldn't be here.
And they had to lower themselves down to the ground first and then lower me. And I remember getting down and their new EMT friend that they had brought was just white as a sheet. And I remember thinking to myself, I was like, yeah, that was pretty irresponsible. But at least there were 3 EMTs and a paramedic that were on the floor.
Yeah.
So if I would have broken my back or my neck.
It could not be a better group of people to be around, especially when it comes to the safety aspect of it, but also just for the entertainment factor.
Yeah, we got to play Duck, Duck, Goose. Come on.
Yeah, everybody is so much fun. Everybody takes it very seriously, but they are still having a great time.
Yes.
And
we're very supportive too. We love cheering each other on.
Yeah, and I love that somehow this group knows the exact perfect balance that I need between somebody cheering me on and me not feeling like I have an audience.
Yeah, and not feeling pressured to do things that you're not comfortable with. Absolutely. Yeah, the thing that I love about our crew too is that there's just a very wide variety of skill levels.
Yeah.
But we all have a really good time.
Yeah.
Right? There's no elitism or
no.
Yeah,
and I
don't
I can't belay yet, which is gonna happen.
Yeah, you and Harrison, we're gonna catch you guys up pretty quick here.
But I can't belay yet, but I don't feel like I'm a burden by not being able to help in that way. And also, not gonna lie, it's really exciting that Harrison's getting into it right now too, because I feel like Harrison and I are becoming buds real quick.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is another thing for me to do with my
friend. For them to do. Yeah. I'm honestly, I'm so goddamn fucking stoked. I'm very, very happy right now.
It's so fucking cool. How about you? What have you been up to?
For the last week, I've been doing a lot of outdoorsy type stuff. So we went climbing that one time. And then that Sunday, I'll move backwards. On that Wednesday when we all went as a group, I was really excited because I was excited for you to meet Pavel and Stevie. I was excited for the first time we were all playing Duck, Duck, Goose as our warm-up because honestly,
that was so much fun.
That was honestly pretty fucking fun.
And I can't tell whether Pavel was sliding in a home when I was chasing him or if he ate shit or if it was a combination of both.
Yeah, right.
I think it was a combination of both. But I remember getting up and starting to chase him and he's like, oh my God, you're fast.
Yeah, I just love any amount of time I get to spend with that crew. It's just the best. But I was also really excited because I got to work on a lead route that day that I had been eyeballing.
That thing was fucked up.
Well over a month.
That was fucked up. like me and Pavel were laying on the mat while you were doing that.
Yeah.
And Elliot was belaying for you. And we were both like, fuck all that.
Like,
And-
what in the absolute hell?
Yeah.
I was really excited. I did not finish it. I think I only got like 4 or 5 clips up, but it was a lot of fun. Now I just want to go back just so I can fucking beat it.
Yeah.
Because especially like where I was at, I probably would have fallen there, but I was 4 or 5 clips up, so I would have been totally safe. I probably just would have gotten really tired. But luckily with Elliot, like they're cool enough to let you just take as many breaks as you want.
Yeah.
Like Eve and I are at this stage in our climbing where like we have a new rule when we lead climb, and it's after the 3rd clip, no more takes until you fall. Or no more takes in general, because you're like, don't be a bitch and just do it. Because like a lot of times we're nervous about taking these really big falls, and like those are just inevitable. You just need to kind of get used to doing that. And as long as you're high enough off of the ground, you're not in a ton of danger other than like hitting the wall. So as long as you're like mitigating risks, we're just trying to really push ourselves. But when I was climbing with Elliot that day, they were like, you can take as many takes as you want. Like, this isn't a sprint. This is a marathon. Like we're just vibing right now. We're not here to like do competition. We're here to have fun. So I really had a lot of fun. I went on Sunday with that same crew. I think it was everybody. Well, it was Pavel, Stevie, Owen, Harrison, and myself, and one of Stevie's clients, her client Rachel. We all went to Milwaukee, and we went to an archery range, and that was so fucking cool.
Archery is really fun.
It was so fucking fun. It was like $15 for the rental fee and the range fee, and I think the targets were like $3 a piece or something like that. So it was like $15 for we were there for 2.5 hours. We had so much fun. I have a really big bruise on my forearm from the amount of times that I spanked myself with my own bowstring.
Oh yes.
But we already have plans to go again as a big group. And Harrison and I have started looking at like bows costs and like we met a couple of people there who, had these really cool leather quivers and like leather arm bracers and things like that. So it was like getting our leather brain working like and moving too, which was super fun. And then I went rock climbing, I think just yesterday. I went with Owen, Stevie, Pavel, and Harrison. And that was really fun too. We got to climb I climbed a couple of really hard routes. I think I only got like 4 routes in that day, but I always love when Harrison comes because I like showing off in front of him and being like, look what I can do. Like, watch this.
Yeah, he gets to see you in your element.
Yeah. So I've just been doing a lot of like active stuff. I've been doing that. And then I showed you before we started recording that I've just been doing a lot of like leather working prototypes.
Yeah.
So I'm working on like a little drawstring bag right now. And I ran out all of my scrap. So I went recently to the leather store and I bought more like suede and like I bought like an emerald green suede and I bought gold snaps and I'm going to make like a slightly larger bag.
Hell yeah.
I'm really excited.
That's going to be so cool.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
I think that's it though.
Yeah. I mean, one thing I'm looking forward to that we'll talk about next week, because it'll be on next week's episode, is on Sunday, I think I'm coming over and we're going to play Edith Finch.
Yeah. That's so exciting.
Yeah, I'm super fucking excited. But until then, Echo, do you want to, lead us out for the night? Can you come up? Yeah. Can you say quiet? Yeah, good quiet. More quiet. Yeah, good girl. All right, good night, everybody.
Good night.
Hey, everybody, it's Karina. I'd like to tell you of a couple of announcements. We have got a Patreon now. You can subscribe at patreon.com/itsalwaysspooky. For $5 a month, we will be having some very special features, so stay tuned for those. Starting with every week, we'll be posting what episode we're planning on doing, so please make sure that you post your scariest and your favorite scenes so that we can feature them in the episode. If Patreon isn't your speed, you can also send us a tip on our Ko-fi account. That's kofi.com/itsalwaysspooky. Please, please, please also email us your spooky stories and any recommendations to itsalwaysspookypodcast@gmail.com.